Okay, welcome all to the video in regards to waterproofing in wet areas for particularly our project 2, but the same principles and sources of information can be applied to designing waterproofing in wet areas for not only disabled bathrooms as we have in project 2, but all bathrooms. But specifically for disabled bathrooms, what you'll need access to is, in addition to AS 3740 for the waterproofing in wet areas and our National Construction Code, you'll also need access to AS 1428.1. Now we'll go to that one first, just quickly. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is here for floor and ground surfaces on continuous accessible paths of travel and circulation spaces. So this is important to us because our bathroom is a circulation space, and our access to the shower area has to comply with that. And so our tolerances for floor joints and steps in floors are very small. So we've got 3mm for a rake joint and 5mm for a beveled joint. So that means that what we can't do is have a shower screen or a shower hob or anything like that that will define the shower area. So the shower area has to be an open shower. Secondly, we'll go down to got the section page 85, which shows our circulation spaces around the shower. But more importantly, the bit that I'm interested in showing you for this is that we have a shower on a flexible hose. That means our shower rose, so that flexible hose is going to be sort of 1200 to 1500mm long. That means our shower rose can be removed off this point and taken anywhere around the room. This will impact on our additional requirements for waterproofing, as we'll see a little bit later on. So our waterproofing, that is defined by waterproofing of domestic wet areas, AS 3740. And an important distinction that we need to make in design of waterproofing of wet areas is what is waterproof and what is water resistant. So for our first section, I'll just scoot down to page 9 and page 10. We've got definitions of waterproof. So property of material that does not allow moisture to penetrate through it when tested in accordance with AS 4858. Now, we won't go referring to that Australian standard right now. That's basically for the manufacturers of waterproof membranes. However, when you purchase a membrane, it has to be manufactured in accordance with that Australian standard. And we've got our waterproofing system, and then water resistant, so the property of a system or material that restricts moisture movement and will not degrade under conditions of moisture. To help us define that further, AS 3740 defines materials that are both waterproof and water resistant. So we've got those membranes that meet the requirements of 4858. However, we've got a couple other materials as well. So stainless steel, copper, and then some flexible waterproof sheet flooring material with waterproof joints of the sheeting, etc. So these are our waterproof materials. So typically what we waterproof a bathroom with are these membranes. So they're membranes that can be painted on. And then we paint those waterproof membranes onto our water-resistant substrates. Our water-resistant substrates include things such as concrete, cement render, fibre cement sheeting, and water-resistant plasterboard. And that's for walls. Very much the same for floors. However, in flooring, it's accepted that some particle boards meet the water resistant, and also some plywood sheets also meet that water resistant. And then if you wish, you can flick through. We've got some mention of some other materials such as linoleum, etc. for in walls and floor situations. So that's our waterproof and water resistant. But what we want to know now is, to what extent do we have to waterproof or water resistant, or make water resistant a section? So we'll go to, I'll flick down to page 40. I've got a bit more flicking to do. So, went a bit past page 40, but that's okay. So on page 40, it says this appendix is based on table F1.7 in the BCA. By all means, go in, have a look at table F1.7. We won't do that in this short lecture today, because the information is also included within this Australian standard, and also it refers to table C.1, which has also been produced from that table. So the section which is of importance to us in terms of the disabled bathroom is this small note in here. So here we are in Appendix C, page 40. It says, where the shower shown in the figures is not enclosed. So we won't do an enclosed shower because we can't have that hob or that shower screen. The wet area is to be taken as 1500 millimeters from the shower connection. So that shower connection is defined as that shower rose, which in our case is on a flexible hose, which will extend to another 1500 millimeters. So we're talking about having to do waterproofing of the floor to approximately 3 meter radius from where that shower hose connects onto the wall. And so to follow on from that, we have diagrammatic representation of waterproofing for an enclosed shower, which is above here, and an unenclosed shower, which is here. Our extent of water resistant materials have to be 1500 millimeters from this, the location of our shower rose, and our waterproofing has to be to the height, and our water resistant has to be the height of 1800, but also our waterproofing has to be of this joint, or of any joint in a wall, to 1800 high by 40 millimeters wide. And then our waterproofing along the base of our floor, turned up onto our wall, has to be 1500 millimeters from that shower rose, as we discussed earlier. And the height of that as table C.1. We'll have a look at that in a minute, but put simply, that's going to be 150 millimeters. Now, our waterproofing for our floor has to be 1500 millimeters from that shower rose. And as said earlier, when we've got a flexible shower rose, that will have to extend out to approximately 3 meters.